And we welcome you in on this holiday Monday. Great to have you here today. You picked a good day to join us. A fantastic lineup awaits. Walmart says it will close 269 stores around the country due to underperformance. And the chain says it is pulling the plug on plans to build 2 new stores in the district, including one that the city was counting on to spur the revitalization of Skyland Mall in Ward 7. City leaders have reacted angrily to what they see as a betrayal. Vince Gray was mayor of D.C. when the deal to bring Walmart to the city was negotiated. Prior to becoming mayor, he represented Ward 7 on the D.C. Council and served as council chairman. Welcome back. Good to have you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you very much for your time. What was your initial reaction to the news late last week that Walmart has taken a look at how its different stores are performing, and they're making the most dramatic changes, if you will? I mean, this is a whole-scale closing of many stores, and of course, most importantly for the district, a 180 on plans to open new locations.
I was absolutely furious, Bruce. We worked for a very long time in order to be able to make this happen, and we had an agreement. We had leases. Walmart got to build 3 other stores in the District of Columbia. There was supposed to be 2 more. Not only Skyland, but also the Capitol Gateway, which is in Ward 7 also. So I was absolutely furious, one, that they did this. They reneged on a deal that they had made. And then secondly, look at the way they did it. It was almost like a midnight raid, where they swooped into the city, indicated that they weren't going to build these stores. You can't tell me that they didn't know this was coming. What a disrespectful and disingenuous way to treat a city that has been good to them.
So this goes beyond the mere disappointment that would come. Yeah. I mean, because when it's business, you know that, commitments are commitments. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, in the business world, there's a constant evaluation and reevaluation of strategies and tactics and all that stuff. But what you're saying, and what I hear other city leaders saying, goes beyond the disappointment at hearing about a run-of-the-mill business decision. This really gets into anger at what people view as a commitment broken.
Absolutely, it is a commitment that was reneged on. It's a commitment that was made and then hasn't been fulfilled. You know, one of the worst sides of this, among many, Bruce, is the fact that you have people on the east end of the District of Columbia, people in Ward 7 and 8, that have been shafted over and over and over again. This appeared to be a great opportunity to move forward with commitments that had been made to get a different kind of opportunity for people on the east end of the District of Columbia. Walmart wasn't that excited about doing this in the first place, but they agreed to do it. We had said, listen, you want to be able to have these other stores, you've got to be able to have stores in communities that desperately need it, where there are food deserts, where people have opportunities to get amenities that they otherwise wouldn't have. A town center that was created out of this that was designed to really uplift the thousands of people who live on the east end of the District of Columbia. And Walmart agreed to it. There's a lease that's involved. For those who may not be clear, there is a lease that's involved with Skyland. There's also a lease agreement that's involved with Capitol Gateway. So there are documents that are in place to be able to point to say, this is the commitment you made. But at the end of the day, if there is litigation, there's suits and all that, so what? How does that help the people who are counting on this happening? There's been so much work that's gone on there, Bruce. I pass Skyland every day. The site has been cleared. The preparation work for the construction is underway. We knew exactly where the Walmart was going to go. And what a lot of people don't realize is that in addition to that, there are 400 to 500 residences that are slated to go on that site as well. Now we're left with nothing. We have nothing. We have no anchor, which means that other retailers who would think about coming in there are not going to make a move because there's no way to predict exactly what the anchor relationship is going to be.
So in terms of the loss involved in all this, listening to you and others, it's the loss of the construction jobs, it's the loss of the of the permanent jobs that would have been there, it's the loss of the retail opportunities that people would have had to be able to do quality shopping close by, particularly in terms of fresh food that might be tough to come by without having to drive or take transit a long distance, and there's the catalyst, the sense that these were anchor properties around which other good things with the jobs and all the rest,
That's right.
would have and residential
right.
would have flowed
without question. You know what it does too, from a psychological perspective, Bruce, is it dashes the hopes of people who have had many decades of being of not feeling like they have been treated fairly. This was one where we have lauded the fact that we've got now the opportunity to create a different kind of situation there with Skyland, and a different situation also with Capitol Gateway, so that there will be amenities there also.
Is there a concern, a fear, a belief that the chain sort of cherry-picked the locations where the clientele would have been a little more upscale, and now they're going to walk away from a community that some undervalue?
Well, I think cherry-pick is a good term. You know, you look at where the other locations are. One is down on 8th Street near the government printing office, which is heavily trafficked, of course. You've got Georgia Avenue, which is heavily trafficked as well. And then the more recent one that was opened just within months was the one in Riggs Park, up off South Dakota and Riggs Road, northeast. So, you know, one wants to make the case, which you can, about them having, you know, selected and cherry-picked and whatnot. It's clear that there's the opportunity to make that case.
A former colleague of yours, Ward 2 Councilman Jack Evans, had a private meeting with city officials and company officials late last week, and he said that in private they're laying out a somewhat different case for the decision, and they point the finger at the increased minimum wage and the possibility that the minimum wage in the District of Columbia could go still higher. Do you buy that? Do you think that was in the mix?
Well, first of all, I can't buy the way they did it. You know, you swoop into the District of Columbia, and within 24 hours, without apparently telling anybody, you then renege on a deal that's on the table. If you have concerns about this, why not sit down with people and say, here's our concerns, how can we work through this? So the way this was done was absolutely horrific. You know, let's go back a little bit. When I was the mayor, there was a bill that was introduced and was approved by the council, the Large Retailer Accountability Act. My position on that bill was that, yes, I want to see people get higher wages, but we don't want to lose jobs in the course of it. You mentioned earlier the number of jobs that are going to be brought, construction jobs and the permanent jobs that will be brought. And I actually vetoed that bill, and it was sustained by a number of members of the council, recognizing that the big box stores, in particular Walmart, would have a devastating impact upon them as a result of this. That bill was defeated, and we thought we were ready to move forward. So Walmart came in and met with us during that. I met with them personally myself. So again, Bruce, how can anybody justify the way that they have done this? You know, I wish also that they, you know, I don't know how the dynamics were unfolding with them, but we should have stayed on top of Walmart, frankly, because it always has had a little bit of an uneasy feel about it with them, because it isn't as if they really wanted to be here in the first place. We said, look, if you want to come to the District of Columbia, you've got to be able to put stores in areas that desperately need them, and the east end of the District of Columbia is a place that desperately needs them, and they agreed to do that. A deal is a deal. We shook on it, and there's documents that say they're supposed to move forward with this.
Do you think that particularly when you look at how broad this action was, 269 existing stores to close and stores that were to open now not moving forward, is it possible that there was a broad range of economic factors, business data points, if you will, that led to the decision, but now having done so, they can score some political points by blaming something in the minimum wage that they have issues with, and kind of get some good out of the bad?
Yeah, well, Bruce, let's go back to the issue of why do you do this way? This has been under discussion, negotiation, implementation for several years, not last month or 6 months ago, for several years. Walmart knows how important their presence at Skyland is to the development of that area of the city. So I don't know what the dynamics are, because I got a phone call to say that we're going to do this. It wasn't even the decency of a meeting that took place. So again, I can't get past the way they did this, knowing what's at stake. and knowing the investment that has been made by the city and the commitments that they have made. This is no way to do business.
Is litigation likely, do you think?
I would expect so. But you know what? At the end of the day, let's say there is litigation. Let's say that there is a suit. You know, Walmart is a company that is, you know, generates hundreds of billions of dollars a year. This will be a blip on the screen for them. Let's say that we have litigation and we win the suit. What in the heck do we have to show for it at the end of the day?
It won't be the new stores anchoring new redevelopment.
It certainly won't.
Talking with former D.C. Mayor Vince Gray. We'll take a quick break here. We are back, though, with more News Talk right after this.